101,000! So I just want to point out how much this cost. Yeah, that's my Firefox icon, so I searched through my arsenal and I found this totally legit copy of Windows 10, but I noticed Apple's optical drives are really small nowadays. Alright guys, what you're about to embark on is a 3-part epic journey about this freaking computer right here. I was having some freezing issues, so I talked to Brent from the Computer Clan, and he thought it was maybe the SSD. I bring it to Apple, and what do? They replace pretty much every part except the SSD, and there's still problems. So I bring it back to the frickin' Apple store and say, yo, geniuses, just replace the SSD, okay? Thankfully I have AppleCare. So then they do that, and I don't want to jinx myself, but so far I have had no system lockups. I mean, I've had a couple intermittent freezes, and I hope that's not related, but before, pretty much every day the full computer would lock up, even in Windows, and nothing would happen. It would never recover. So everything seems to be fine now, but oh boy, you're going to see the awesome conundrums I went through during these 3 parts. So make sure you stick around and watch all of them when they come out. Alright, let's roll that film. We're going to go to the Apple Store now. Ready? So I'm on my way to the Apple Store now. Traffic doesn't look too bad today. Motherfuck! This red light is longer than a bread box. Okay, so we're kind of going there, but I don't have actual footage of me inside the Apple Store, so guess what? To substitute, I'm going to show some old footage from a video I made when I was in Chicago. Enjoy. Alright, we're back from the store now, and you can tell this just came from the store because it's wrapped in that genuine Apple fluff paper, 12 bucks a piece, and genuine Apple blue tape, 13 bucks a piece. So let's just take this off here, and hopefully this is the last time that I have to see this thing in the paper. So here we go, the late 2013 Retina MacBook Pro 15-inch with just about every single internal component now replaced with either a new or refurbished Apple part. Alright, so if my calculations are correct, the SSD should be wiped. I think it has 10.11.5 on it, but with nothing else. So I'm going to have to migrate my data, and actually it looks like we might be coming up to that screen soon. I have everything on Time Machine. I have to do Windows separately. Benvingut, benvindos, squiggle, bienvenido, watami, welcome, vitamin vas, more squiggly lines, ciao, ciao mung, ciao mung, ciao mung. Oh, I don't even know what that language is. Oh my gosh. So we're just gonna choose our DeLorean feature here. Time Machine, connect AC power. Well, I'll do that later. Alright, so the Time Machine drive has been found. Continue. I'm going to restore from Love Machine, last backed up May 30th. This is restoring the OS X volume. Now, this is USB 3, so it should be rather fast. Hopefully. Okay, so on here with the Migration Assistant, we have applications, the Apple test account they were using to help fix the computer, my account, my demo account, Mike Rosoft, ho ho ho, and other files and folders and computers and network settings. So I would like to restore all of this except this account, and it looks like, yeah, we're probably going to push like 400 gigs or so. Initializing cloning process. We are breaching new grounds with science. Dolly the sheep, you can suck my duck. I am, though, having troubles understanding this diagram. The arrow right there, I'm not sure where it's going. It's a little too complicated. Now, since when did the Migration Assistant tell you the speed stuff was transferring at? Is that a new feature? I don't know, that's pretty cool. It's going pretty smooth. We got about 35 minutes left, so that's enough time for me to stuff my face, and I will be right back. I'm just going to leave the camera on and let you watch it for 35 minutes straight. Oh, yeah. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let's sign in here. It looks like a lot of this stuff transferred over. I mean, account-wise, pictures, names. Let me just type in my password. You spin me right around, baby, right around. Setting up your Mac. So I just want to point this out. Even after a complete motherboard transplant and an SSD transplant, restoring from Time Machine even remembered what apps I had open last. And they just automatically opened up when I logged in. Now, how freaking cool is that? As you can see now, we're just importing a couple of messages, and by a couple I mean 101,000 694. I also got to say, a little bit of a funny story here. When I got back home, I noticed there was an email from Apple about my repairs. It's a little confirmation email. And the funny thing is, the Apple Mail junk folder, this was on my Mac Mini, the Apple Mail junk folder labeled an official Apple email as junk. I just thought that was great. That's the highlight of my day. I have a pretty low bar for my days. Oh, where's my whiskey? So I just want to point out how much this cost. This is the cost without tax of parts and labor just for the SSD replacement. Now keep in mind, I had a heatsink replacement and a logic board replacement before this happened. So the cool thing is I have the warranty. So I paid that extra like $250 ahead of time, and now I didn't have to pay the over $1,000 now. So if you gain any lesson from my insanity here, yeah, do get Apple Care, and with other products that aren't Apple, do get some kind of warranty. Ensure your investments. So aside from having to re-enter a couple passwords, which is pretty expected, it looks like everything transferred except for my Launchpad configuration. I'm not quite sure why that didn't transfer over. I don't know, maybe someone could shed some light on that, so I have to rebuild that. But so far it's pretty smooth. The big thing though next is re-imaging the Windows partition, so fun times ahead, get some popcorn or something, because oh, you're in for a show. Okay, I'll be honest, I thought of all the things I would have to re-authenticate, Creative Cloud would be one of them. The Adobe software actually automatically just continued from where it left off. I mean, I thought out of everything the Adobe software would choke. This just shows that anything is possible. Oh, whew, thank you, Adobe. But I got everything back to pretty much how I want it. These are my most frequently used apps, so that's good. I'm all happy now. Wait, what are you looking at? What? You really looking at that? Yeah, I know what you're looking at. Yeah, that's my Firefox icon. So, you got a problem with that, Buster? Huh? Now we can do the fun part. Oh yes, we got to partition this thing to get Windows on here. And I have a Windows backup system. Like I have it imaged or whatever, but I don't necessarily have restore media. So that might be the only tricky part. The rest of this I think is pretty automatic. Wow, this is definitely a lot easier than it was back in the, like, I think Tiger days when this was more of a beta thing. Yeah, this has gotten a lot more automatic. Alright guys, so I searched through my arsenal and I found this totally legit copy of Windows 10. It is a legit copy. I own the product, I just made a copy of it onto this disk for restoration purposes. But I noticed Apple's optical drives are really small nowadays, and this disk doesn't fit anymore. So I'm going to have to find a way to shrink it, or be from this millennium and actually like put it on a flash drive or something. So we'll get back to you in a moment. Alright, so the boot camp assistant needs me to make a partition for the drivers for Windows. That's great. So I don't have a flash drive lying around, so I took one of my bigger hard disks and I resized it and just put a small little fat volume on there. It's been stuck on resizing for about 7 minutes now, and that concerns the shit out of me, because I don't want to abort it while it's in the middle of the operation. I'm pro hard disk. I don't want to abort it. It has a right to partition itself. Although I'm not noticing much activity inside of the disk utility application, according to the activity monitor, the system is actually performing quite a bit of disk operation related tasks. So look at this graph go, guys. This is the blood of the computer. Seriously. So the blue blood is returning to the CPU and needs oxygen. Right now, the blue blood going to the CPU is hemoglobin. So when it gets oxygenated, it comes out as red blood. That's how the computer works. It's pretty simple. Oh, guys, I'm screwed. I'm so screwed. I just realized what I was doing. I'm starting up a virtual machine. I must have had this like going in the background or something on the hard disk that I am partitioning. That, oh my gosh, I feel sick. Hey, the operation is complete. What's a BISPIF? Does anyone know what a BISPIF is? So what this blueberry pie chart is telling me is that I accidentally made 2 additional partitions as opposed to just the one. That is maybe why the resizing took so long. That was a total screw up. Okay. Alright, let's maybe remove this, because we don't... Oh, the minus button is grayed out. Okay, you can't see that, but if I do this, then you can. Hang on. Alright, there we go. There we go. Yeah. Fuck.
So I was able to borrow a flash drive from someone. Hopefully this works. I have one just like this, but it must have shorted out because it's not working. So I'm going to try to put the frickin' drivers on this sucker because for some reason the Boot Camp Assistant is not detecting the new fat volume I just made, and now I can't seem to find a way to remove it from the partition table. So panties all around.
Alright, I think I found out what's going on. I could be wrong still. I'm wrong a lot. So here's the current situation. There is the automatic driver downloader inside the Boot Camp Assistant, but it won't actually let me choose the drive I want to put the drivers onto. So I made a new flash drive formatted here under the name BC for Boot Camp, and it still wouldn't work. So what I think I need to do is reset it as FAT like I did before, and I'm just going to call it BC for Boot Camp again, but I accidentally had it set as GUID partition map. Since I'm working with Windows stuff, I probably need to set it to MBR. So let's do that. And just for good measure, I'm going to quit the assistant. And let's show details so we don't get bored here. Oh, it's already done. All right, there you go. It puked all that stuff out. It's good to go. So let's go back to the Launchpad and open up the Boot Camp Assistant. And I'm going to hit continue. I'm not going to create a disk for Windows because I got my Totes Legits copy right here. So download support and install. So continue, and it still doesn't work. What the? Come on! The flash drive is right here, and it just will not let me do it. Okay, so I believe I found out what was causing that problem. That red flash drive, I think, was too small, and that's why it kept saying no USB disk. Well, Apple, you could have at least said, please insert a larger disk. But no, they wanted to be obscure. Why? To piss me off, of course. So I inserted an 8 gig stick, transferred the data off, which took like 12 years. So I just reformatted it, and now I use the master boot record, so now it finally shows up. For crying out loud, this part took longer than like everything else in this migration process. I can't believe it. Alright, so the progress bar has that much more to go. Oh, never mind, it jumped to 0 minutes and 0 seconds remaining. It is now saving the support software. Alright, well, it is 1:15 midnight. I gotta work tomorrow, so Crazy Ken is going to bed, and when he wakes up tomorrow, he's gonna finish this shit. But for now, oh my gosh, I need a break. So, I'll update you soon.
Would you like to check out our movie riffing comedy series? If so, you can watch that right here. Or perhaps you'd like to watch our Anime Milwaukee